Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Kalonda Casey and I am 64 years young, and as you can see I am back in my kitchen. So today is Cooking with Kalonda and I have 3 great recipes I will be sharing with you today. And remember, this channel is for the mature woman, anyone 40, 50, 60, 70 and beyond, and I'm so happy to have everyone here. Let me know if you are new in the comments so that I can welcome you properly to the channel. I am a little bit behind on my comments. I have been out of town for 8 days with my mom and took a little vacation and just back today. So I wanted to get back and get my video prepared for you all to be released on Friday. I will insert some pictures at the end of my time with my mom. My mom lives in Kentucky, and so we were in Kentucky and Tennessee. We had a wonderful time. I'm always happy to share a little bit of my life with you all. And while you're watching the video today, if you're enjoying what you are seeing, please click on the subscribe button and leave a comment, like the video. The algorithm loves it when you all do that, and so do I. And so without further ado, let's push in and let's get started on these recipes. Well, hello and welcome to my kitchen. And I'm going to be making something different today. I am making a green goddess tuna salad. Very high in protein, extremely healthy, and something different. If you're like me, you get tired of traditional tuna. And so I found this recipe and I thought, okay, I'm going to make it and everybody gets to see how I make it. So let's get started. All of the recipes will be down below in the show more section or the description section. So we're using garlic, and I'm using a red onion, fresh herbs, lemon juice, olive oil, a strained whole milk yogurt, that's the dressing, some salt and honey, and of course the tuna and some pepper. So let's hop to it and make the dressing. The first thing I'm going to do is to squeeze my fresh lemon juice, and it calls for a ½ cup of lemon or lime juice, and I prefer lemon. And I like to squeeze my own. Glad I have a lot of lemons. Using my magic bullet, so I'm going to do that, and it called for 1 clove of garlic, a large clove, which I love fresh garlic, so stick that in there, and then it calls for a ½ of a shallot, but I'm just using red onion, and I'm eyeballing it because you know I measure with my heart. And then 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. There we go. And then a ½ teaspoon of salt. Again, just measure with your heart or with a measuring spoon, whatever it is that you like. I'm going to add some pepper. And it calls for a cup of fresh herbs. I am using parsley, cilantro, and fresh basil. Get those in there. So I'm going to mix all of this together first, and then I'll add my yogurt. Oh, wow. Okay, let me taste this. Oh, that's amazing. I'm going to add my honey. And I'm using hot honey because that's all I have. Okay, I am using 1/4 of a cup of strained yogurt. And again, I'll mix it up, and then I'll taste it. And I'll see if I need to add anything more. Oh my gosh, I wish you all could smell this. That is fantastic. It's lemony and fresh herb tasting, and the salt, the onion, the lemon juice. Oh my gosh, amazing. For my tuna, I'm using the albacore solid white tuna in white, and I'm using 10 ounces, and it has drained. And now I'm just flaking it with a fork. That looks pretty good. And it says to pour a third of this over the tuna. And I probably added too much. But I am going to put this in the refrigerator for a little bit to let the flavors meld. Okay, I'm going to taste this. It is so fresh and good. Okay, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and I'll be back. I'd like to take a moment and thank Mochi Health for sponsoring this portion of today's video. As some of you may or may not know, I have been on the GLP-1 medication for weight loss, and in the last 14 months, I have lost 45 pounds. And I am currently microdosing to maintain my weight loss. So let's talk a little bit about Mochi Health. The one thing I love about Mochi Health is they are always striving to bring bigger and better things to their patients and subscribers. And if you have followed me, you know they have brought in several medications to help with weight loss and skincare needs, plus medication to counterbalance the side effects of GLP-1 medications. So that's very exciting. I have really great news, and I want to build on my announcement of last month's information on the medications that Mochi Health brought in. But this month they have brought in NAD+. It's available in an injectable, nasal, or a cream form, which is absolutely wonderful. NAD+ may support cellular health, cognitive function, and energy. The good news is that Mochi patients can now go into the portal and request these through the healthcare provider, and it's extremely easy to do. I have been excited to try NAD+, and now I am going to do it. I will be adding that to my cart this month at checkout. I know you're sitting there wondering, I would like to get started on my journey with Mochi Health, and this is what you can do. If you use my link and discount code, you can get $40 off your first month's subscription, which is normally $79, so that would cut that back to $39. And then your medications are an addition to your subscriptions. But when you add the medication and the subscription fee together, it is still so much less than a lot of other providers charge to be on GLP-1 medication. Plus, you have all of these other medications that you can now request from the Mochi medical providers. Remember, semaglutide is $99 extra per month, and tirzepatide is $199 extra per month. So what are you waiting for? Join me in my health journey, and don't forget to check the link down below and also pinned in the very first comment. And believe me, your body's going to thank you. Mine is thanking me every single day. Now it's time to marinate our chicken for dinner. It is a Mediterranean chicken dish. We will be making skewers later, but I need to get my chicken ready with all of these Mediterranean spices. So the chicken is already cut up. Use 2.5 pounds. I use boneless, skinless chicken breast. It calls for thighs, but you can use whatever you want. And so let's start mixing the seasoning in. It calls for 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm doing that. The juice of 1 lemon. And I'll show you the food when I'm mixing it all together. All right, so that's the liquid. Now I'll start adding the spices. So it calls for a tablespoon of garlic powder. And normally I don't measure, but I thought I would for you all. So that's a garlic powder. And then a tablespoon of onion powder. There we go. And a tablespoon of paprika. You gotta have that rich color when you're doing Mediterranean food. Plus, I just think that color when you're cooking, you know, I've always said Americans eat with their eyes. If it looks pretty, we're gonna eat it. Okay, so that's the paprika. And then it calls for Aleppo Pepper, which I have never used, but I did order it from Amazon for this recipe. And I smelled it, and it smells wonderful. It doesn't smell overly hot. I guess I should have tasted it. 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now I'm not going to measure that. I'll just shake it in. Okay. 3 pinches of salt. 1, 2, 3. And pepper, it says. So. Now, if there's something you don't like, omit it and add something else in its place. And now I have to add 2 tablespoons of yogurt. 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. Okay. Oh, and tomato paste. 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. I know one thing. It smells wonderful. I would say that is 1.5 tablespoons. Okay, here is the chicken with all the spices. Putting on my gloves. You don't have to use gloves. It's your kitchen. You do with it whatever you want. You can use a spoon. But I just want to get this all marinated really good. You're supposed to leave it for 4 to 6 hours. And that's about how much it will be in the refrigerator, marinating. Oh my goodness. It smells delicious. Okay, so that is our chicken, and I'll come back for it later and I'll show you how I assemble the kebabs. And I'm putting them in the oven, not on the grill, because not everybody has a grill. We do, but I want to be able to show you how I do them in the oven. Here's my lunch that I made. Oh, I love it. It just is so fresh. And I did a half of a pita and some cherry tomatoes and cucumbers, and then of course this Green Goddess tuna salads. So I will be full until dinner time. Okay, I am back in the kitchen and I am making egg muffin cups. My husband's gonna be having a shoulder surgery, so I want to have some food in the freezer that I can pop in the microwave and heat up. On mornings, we just do not have time to cook while I'm taking him to physical therapy and that sort of thing. And I just wanted to show you what I like to make for a high protein breakfast that you can keep on hand because they're delicious. First of all, I like to use the larger muffin cups. These are silicone. I got them on Amazon. I will link them. I really, really like these. Now they say you don't have to spray these, but I do because I had some bad luck not when I don't spray them. You can make these so many different ways. So I'm going to crack probably 10 eggs. And Okay, I cracked 10 eggs and I'm going to put maybe a half a cup of milk in. I'm not measuring, but that's what I would recommend. A half to maybe a little more than a half. And then what I'm going to do is take my emulsion blender. You don't have to, you can use a fork. I like to do it this way. So now I'm just gonna add pepper, quite a bit, some garlic powder. I don't measure, I'm just measuring with my heart. That's probably a teaspoon, about a teaspoon of salt. And then I'll just do the blender one more time. Okay, now I'm finished with the immersion blender. And I'm getting ready to tilt the camera so that you can see me assemble these and I can talk while I am assembling them. Okay, so here are my muffin pans. This is just avocado oil. And I have some shredded Simply potatoes. Put those on the bottom. Obviously, I didn't get enough out. The beauty of the muffin cups is you make them however you want. Put what you like in them. And I just thought I would put some potatoes in the bottom. If you haven't ever bought these hash browns from Simply Potatoes, here they are. They're in the refrigerated section of the grocery store. They're so good. You can make potato soup with them. They're very good. All right. So now what I'm going to do is just take my egg mixture. And this is always a guess. You know, I never know if I have enough eggs. We just go with what we go with. And I can tell it's too little. Okay, I mixed up a couple more eggs. And put some salt, pepper, garlic powder. I transferred it to the measuring cup because it's just easier to pour in there. So I guess it's about 1 egg per little muffin cup. That would make sense. That was my bad. I told y'all I don't measure. I have some purple onions or red onions, whatever y'all call them. And I just throw them in there, however. We like all of this stuff. That one needs more, but we're just gonna give it more veggies. And I got some tomatoes. And oh, and then I have the jarred red peppers, which we really like. I prefer those in these egg cups over fresh ones. And if you don't have enough for one of the cups, it's not the end of the world. Then I have bacon. You can use ham, you can use sausage, you can use anything. It doesn't matter. Or you can simply go vegetarian. We like bacon in our family. We like sausage too. We like it all. We like breakfast meat. All right, now we have to add our cheese. You don't have to. If you're trying to keep these super healthy, you don't have to add cheese. But I am adding shredded cheese that I picked up at the store. And I like to put my cheese in and kind of seal the muffin. Let's see, I'm gonna go over here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. kind of puts like a little topper on it. And this is a Hatch green chili pepper cheese. Yeah. So I'll save some of these out for in the morning, and then I'll freeze the rest. I'm going to finish this pan, and then I will pop these in the oven for about 35 minutes on 350 degrees, and I'll be back. Look how beautiful these turned out. Oh my goodness. They are so fluffy and large. I'm going to let them cool, and then I will take them out in a little bit. But they actually baked for 40 minutes. You just have to check them. What I like to do is just check them at 30 minutes, and then I knew I needed to add about 10 more minutes. But they sure look great, and I wish you could smell them. They smell incredible. There, it is 10 minutes till 6, so the chicken has been marinating for about 6 hours. I wish I could explain to you how fragrant it smells. Oh my goodness, those spices were just on point. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera down and show you how I put my skewers together, and we're going to get this recipe finished. So here's my chicken, and what I decided to do was to do a red bell pepper and an onion and chicken. I really like that combination, and I thought it would be delicious, easy. I'm all about easy. So I'm gonna only do one skewer so you all can see that. And if it's a small piece, I really love onion. If it's a small piece of onion, I'll put 2. It's, whatever your preference is. You could put tomatoes, you could put mushrooms. I just don't want to do that. Okay, so that is the first kebab. Lined my baking sheet with parchment paper, and we are good to go. So let me get all the skewers made and I'll come back. Okay, so the kebabs are just about ready to go in the oven, and I ended up doing 2 pans. They smell delicious. I'm so excited. I love food like this. So cooking with Kalonda is over, and as you all know, I do try and eat a lot of protein, and everything that I brought to you is a protein-enriched food, and it is something that keeps me full and it keeps me a little leaner, and I really do try and stick with the protein. And so before we leave, check out the pictures of me with my family, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and let me know if you're new here so that I can welcome you, and I will see you the next time. Bye.